Hey, welcome to Select Your Podcast. We are the Select Your Player crew. I'm Thomas.
I'm Jackson.
Joseph.
Jared.
And as I said, we are Select Your Player. Today we're having a special little 3.5 after-hour special since Johnny can't be here. So it's going to be a little shorter. But since Johnny's also not here, we're having a discussion about one of our favorite subjects of all time, which is...
games of all time.
Yes,
A BioWare classic.
Knights of the Old Republic. I don't know...
Say what?
Die already!
Just die already.
This game came out in, I think, 2001, was it?
Maybe we should have looked that up.
I should look it up, but anyway, it came out in the early 2000s, and it's been one of our favorites ever since. It's a action RPG adventure. It's just an amazing game. It takes place in the galaxy of Star Wars.
If it were a man, it'd be an Adonis.
It'd be an Adonis of a man. It takes
The
place.
War Among the Stars.
It takes
The
place.
Roids, man.
It takes place 5,000 years before the original trilogy. So we're gonna get into some of this, but we're
So Yoda just barely got into retirement.
Yeah, I know, right? he has been fertilized in the egg. So, all right. Let's see. In this game, you have a starship and you collect companions.
The
that
Ebon Hawk.
The Ebon Hawk.
Well,
That's a cool
first
ship.
off, guys. Massive spoilers. Probably heading.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just
If
to
you
let you
haven't
know,
played this
I'm
game
sorry.
for
If
some
you
weird
haven't played
reason,
this game, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
And the
Like,
last-
seriously,
yeah.
check out the podcast. Click pause. Go beat it. Takes about 10 hours. Come back and then click play again.
You've had 12 years to catch up on this. You could probably watch it all on YouTube. So hey,
And we're talking to you, Johnny.
and we're talking
Richard,
to you, Johnny. And Richard. Our
yeah,
friend
come
Richard.
on, Johnny and Richard.
Anyway, you're on the ship called the Ebon Hawk. It's kind of a
It's the Millennium
it's
Falcon.
the Millennium Falcon, but it's just as
how
cool.
many points above light speed can it go, though?
I don't know.
They never discuss it.
It was the first ship to ever go light
Ever
speed.
go light speed?
What?
Bang!
Why were they worried about what's his name?
Anyway, in this ship, you collect companions that you travel with. Not prostitutes, by the way.
You can do
Well,
that.
maybe sometimes.
You can be a no. You
But anyway, you collect companions that you travel through the galaxy with, and you make up your landing party, and that's how you do it. It's kind of like BioWare's other game, Mass Effect, but this is where they started at.
Yeah.
So, favorite companions. Who wants to start? Jared, Jackson?
Oh man, I'll go.
Okay,
This
Jackson.
is Jackson speaking.
Okay.
I freaking love. You get an old, crazy man Jedi, and he is just so whack. And he's a black dude. Always gotta like that black dude. And
What's his name?
What's his name?
his name is Jolie Bendo.
Jolie Bindo!
You youngsters always trying in a hurry to get killed.
Pixar Coon wasn't in a hurry. We know, because he's dead.
And he would tell you these crazy stories, and he like every companion gets a side quest, and I love Jolie's.
Wasn't he blind?
By the end, he was going blind.
Yeah, he's
he's
going
going
blind.
Yeah.
So
And-
what was the story? His wife and him were in love, so he got kicked out of the order.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, he's technically a gray Jedi, is what he is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a gray pass Jedi, which is Jedi. It's not light or dark. And anyway, Jolie is definitely my favorite companion. Fun, like to bring along and stuff.
It's funny, too.
He's so funny. But I also love me some K, or what was his name?
Caden?
No,
Oh.
KT. The
Oh,
HK-47,
Meat
man.
bags.
Meat
You just
bags.
took my favorite companion thing.
He's
I don't know how you deal with sloshing around
Yeah.
all day.
in a meat sack. I don't know.
and that's the thing. Every companion is all right. Like, there's not really a bad one, but
All right, so
there's some more useful ones. Like,
before we get into that, let's name the companions because there's Jolie Bendo, there's Giuliani. She's the other Jedi.
Yeah.
Lame.
She's a
Cat
cat.
lady.
forget what I just said. There's one horrible companion. That's
What was
it.
she's a cat. She's a Cathar. Or something
Yeah,
like that?
Cathar.
Yeah.
Cathar.
HK-47.
HK-47 is an assassin droid. An assassin droid.
Whatever the R2 was, what was he?
T3 and 4.
T3 and 4 was cool.
Beast of a computer hacker.
Yeah.
Big Z. Let's
Big-
not beat around the bush.
You even get a Wookiee companion. His name's Zabar.
And he even talks like a Wookiee. It's so fun. He builds grenades for you.
It's one of those things where you actually have to have captions because he's like, and he's like, oh yes, I do want that.
Please do not wear clothes. And Mission, his little
sidekick.
Which, if you're first time playing, do not neglect her. She is so powerful. She can like two-shot anything at the end of the game.
And she's 14 years old.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. But anyway.
Back then I was 14, so it didn't matter.
But now it matters, Jared.
It matters now. It matters
She didn't
now.
ever,
But she didn't grow up.
doesn't age.
She never grows. She doesn't age,
grow.
man.
Who else is in there?
Bastila, of
Bast-
course.
oh.
Basila's like your other Jedi companion.
Who's a freaking bitch?
Hot.
Caden Alenko.
I think you mean Cartho Nasty.
Okay, here's another thing. Basila, Sean, who is your main companion, throughout the whole thing, you guys share a force bond. She's also Femshep, played by the
share a force
Bond with
She's also played by the ultra hot super babe Jennifer Hale, who I'm a huge fan of anyway. And then you have Karth Onassi.
No, Caden Alenko.
I'm sorry,
No.
Caden.
It's Karth Onassi
It's
on
Karth.
KOTOR.
On KOTOR. He's the same guy who played Caden Alenko in Mass Effect.
Yeah.
BioWare likes to recycle their companions a lot.
And the last guy was the Mandalorian.
Candace Ordo.
Candace, man. I liked Candace a
Candace
lot.
was cool.
The Wolverine of
He
the
is the
episode.
Wolverine. Anyway, these are the companions throughout
You know
the
how
whole
manly he
thing.
was? He wore purple.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, wore purple and he had a buzz cut. This guy
All right.
did not give a shit.
All right, Joseph, I think it's
Go
your
for it,
turn.
Joseph.
Okay, I'd have to say, like I said, HK-47 because he's
It's
hilarious.
so funny. Oh my god.
You know that mission where you're on that what's his name, Malik's flagship, and you have to
Yeah.
pick one guy to do it.
It's
I
always
always pick
HK.
HK-47.
Nice.
Yeah.
'Cause he could hack everything, and he's still a badass. too.
Yeah, and then Bastila.
Oh. That's all that can be said.
What
It's
can be
just,
said about Bastila?
How many of y'all ever just ran Basil around without any armor?
I did.
Every day.
And did you know that if you put her in Sith robes and take off her armor, she has lingerie on?
Yeah.
Whoa!
You never knew that?
Bikini.
I was never wearing. She was never
It
wearing
wasn't
clothes,
sexy
guys.
lingerie, but it was lingerie.
Yeah.
You're like,
She kind of wears granny panties.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's the only way I played that game.
Candace was useful because he could regenerate.
I like his blaster at the beginning, that like minigun. That was pretty cool.
He also had bad A stories.
Yeah.
I love hearing his
Yeah.
stories.
I love listening to his stories.
There's like one where he like blows up a planet.
Yeah. On a droid, just
Yeah.
frying a droid
Oh
down.
yeah, and they go into the expanded universe when he like introduces the Yushan Vaughn.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the asteroid. Yeah,
That was really cool as a reader of the
of the books and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, same here.
Jared.
My two favorites are HK-47, of course, because he was just like a cool pimp.
He's like your friend.
Yeah.
So, bro.
And
Well, he
then,
hated you and loved you at the same time. So he's
Yeah.
like, "I love you, you stupid son of a bitch."
kind of like
I
our
hate
friends.
what's wrong with your decisions?
Yeah. Did you really just pick that?
What, you didn't choose to blow him up? Like,
What are you
Yeah,
doing?
and he
What are
would,
you
he would
doing?
also offer to kill like people you're talking
Yeah.
Every guy you talk to, do you want him dead?
yeah. The little meat bag over there talking about a Jawa. I'd be happy to fry
I can
him
slap
for you.
him if you want. I'm just saying.
to. Just saying.
And then Big Z. I love Big Z.
Zombar, he was Zabar. Sorry, he was pretty damn awesome.
I like how nobody's saying Karth.
Okay, that gets to my favorite companions were Bastila and Karth together. The only reason I like Karth in my team is because I would upgrade his dexterity like so friggin' high that. And also, I would get him like some really badass blasters, and so he would just destroy anybody with blasters.
I always put him in the
kill Karth. I'm just saying.
I love me some Mission.
You know, I did with Karth. I put him in the Sith armor, so I didn't have to see his face.
Yeah, I
anymore.
did that a lot
Yeah, I
too.
did that too, actually.
But then this like wimpy voice came out of like a Sith guy.
And here's the thing about Karth too. He would always like try to talk to you
Yeah.
when you're trying to get around. He's
No,
like,
the game's like Karth needs to talk, and then you go to
Karth's
him. I don't want to
eyebrow
talk
twitch.
I don't want to talk to you.
I said I don't want to talk. about
Karth's
this.
eyebrow twitched a little bit. Like, speak to Karth? Like, no.
I don't want to speak to
I
Karth.
want to kill some podcasters. Like, or not pod
Are we doing
pod
this
racers.
now? We're in the middle of a battle.
And my also favorite was Bastila, just because she got super powerful if you ever leveled her
Yeah,
up
she
enough.
did.
Yeah, she did.
I mean, she could take a beating and then
better.
still like force lightning everybody. I'm like,
I
damn.
always like using HK and then what is the protocol one?
T3 and
T3.
4.
T3. I always used them on Tatooine, so it'd be like 3PO and
Yeah.
R2.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, nice. I never thought of that.
All right, and in Mass Effect, we're moving on to a different subject. In Mass Effect, They all take place on different worlds, so your missions do.
Oh, KOTOR, not Mass Effect.
I'm sorry, not Mass Effect. That's how. Sorry, they do kind of blend. In KOTOR, you have to take the missions take place on different planets, so you have to travel from each one to get your
There's
objective
these
done.
things called star maps, and each planet has one. So you go to there.
Yeah, you gotta go find them.
You gotta was it collect the coordinates for the next part or
Yeah.
whatever? Yeah,
Should we explain the story a little bit?
a little bit, but let's get
Okay,
that in a
okay.
second. But on these worlds, like Jared said, you have to collect star map coordinates, and they have some really great worlds.
Crucible. Familiar and unfamiliar.
Yeah, familiar and one of the worlds is actually mentioned in episode 4. This is where Vader. Grand Moff Tarkin. Yeah. He asked Leia where the rebel base is, and she says Dantooine. No one knew what the hell Dantooine was, and you actually get to see Dantooine for the first time. There's actually a Jedi enclave on there.
Dantooine has a horrible history in the
It
books.
does.
It's always getting glassed over.
Yeah.
Really?
So Jackson, what's your favorite?
Well,
world?
in you remember those Star Wars that miniseries before the third one came out? Mace Windu actually goes down there and
there's that big army.
Yeah.
Yeah, he destroys them all
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
that was
pretty
pretty cool.
with his bare hands.
Yeah.
punches.
So Jackson, what's your favorite, man?
Gotta go. Oh man, I love every planet is super different.
Yeah.
I mean, like really different. But if you're a good guy, like because you can play, like evil or it's one of the first games that I think ever even introduced that where you could choose the path of good or evil. And being a good guy and going to Korriban felt real awesome. I don't know, like.
It was kind of scary too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Korriban,
You're
I
like,
don't know.
why aren't they all killing me?
Well, you're also on
You're
Korriban.
on edge the whole time.
Well, on Korriban, you're undercover too to go into the Sith Academy there, and you get introduced there. But you have to keep your identity secret, otherwise they kill you.
Unless a certain event happens and
Then they already know.
and then they know, and then you know who exactly you are, and
Yeah.
bam, it's totally different ball game if you're a bad guy and you do that.
Yeah.
But anyway, Korriban, just the whole entire part of it is cool. What you're doing is you're a student in the academy, and because of who you are ridiculously force powerful, and so you just kind of mop through the place, and then you even eventually kill the leader of the Siths there pretty easily after beating some Rancor things and getting this sweet lightsaber. It's awesome. Like
Yeah, those are actually pretty cool because those were created by Exar Kun. They're
Really?
like made of pure Force evil, is what they are.
yeah, they actually feed on they're Jedi hunters.
Yeah.
They look like little mini Rancors, and
Yeah.
they
They're
suck to
hard,
fight.
too.
They suck to fight.
Yeah, they
Like,
do.
There was like 2 in one room, wasn't
Yeah, that room I had to hide in the corner and just blast them through this little doorway.
Throw grenades at 'em.
Yeah,
Yeah, and Bastil's not allowed to go on there either because
No.
she'll be recognized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you good with that? Or?
Korriban, definitely my favorite.
yeah.
Joseph?
I like the lore of Korriban, all the
Yeah.
history you
Oh,
find
yeah.
out.
Yeah, all
The
the
comic books are like pretty cool with that, especially with was it Marco Ragnos?
Mhm.
Yeah, I
the
got
droid guy.
No, that was I forgot his name. No, Marco Ragnos is like one of the oldest Sith Lords that there is, and like one of the most
Yeah.
powerful too.
Well-
He's like haunting the place.
I'd have to say my favorite was probably Tatooine, just because of
Oh, Jared does
just
not like
because
that.
of the nostalgia,
I
man.
love that. I was gonna choose that.
Well,
I
you can
mean-
still choose it.
They're all great for the most part, but I like Tatooine.
There's a lot to do on that planet.
There
too.
is,
yeah.
and then the crate dragons, like my favorite part.
Yeah.
Getting that pearls is so.
Yeah,
awesome.
that was pretty satisfying.
The Jawas, I love that little Jawa leader that you meet.
Jared's freaking out. He's like, oh, "This is mine."
Saving that is guy.
I love it. He's my friend.
Yeah. Good.
You like saving the Sandcrawler from the Tusken Raiders
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Tusken Raiders.
and going inside the Tusken
They
Raider
were pretty
compound.
tough.
They
the
were,
Tusken
man.
Raiders. That
Oh,
guy.
the chief is like one of the hardest fights in the game.
Did you like having like the armor or like the suit, the sand people?
Oh yeah, I love that.
Oh yeah,
too.
and then you like make the mistake like, where'd you get or they ask you, where'd you get these robes? Because
Yeah.
they tricked them. Oh, I took them off the dead bodies. They don't like that. Like, and then the entire compound tries to kill you.
Yeah.
Does anyone remember the name of the bounty hunter in the game?
Galinord. Calo Nord.
Yeah,
Calo Nord,
that's right.
yes.
Yeah,
That dude was hard.
was a tough fight on Tatooine.
Yeah, it was.
Korriban, it was tough too.
That dude just looked like a driver or something. He had like those old
Yeah,
like
the
glasses.
goggles,
and
those
the
Steve
To
scarf.
goggles.
me, he
Yeah.
always reminded me of Captain Falcon.
a little short kid.
That's why it was
Short
so
dude.
hard. He needs you to death.
He need you.
His outfit or whatever
His
armor was cool.
Unbelievable.
His
Yeah.
plasma
So good,
grenades too, man. Those things would slaughter me.
Yeah. That one guy, one of my favorite little like side quests where the guy stuck out in the desert because his wife
Oh yeah.
surrounded him
Oh,
by those
yeah.
drugs.
You had to,
that's
you had to
funny.
disable the droids.
Yeah, I just love leaving him there, and he's like, "Okay, gonna hang out."
Got any
Come back
water
and
at
leave.
least? Like, no.
All right, Jared. Since Joseph ruined it, what's your favorite after that? Or do you still want to talk about?
I'll talk
Tatooine?
about my reasons, I guess.
Okay.
I like Tatooine. It's my favorite. Basically, just because I love Jawas and I got to hang out with them, I became their chief.
You can even talk to them too.
Yeah, and then I did love the crate dragon. You actually got to see one like alive.
Yeah.
And then you get HK-47 there,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Yeah, you do get.
you meet Bastla's mom there,
Oh yeah.
and you're like, this is weird.
Yes. Don't you get like jumped by Canderous' old game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
you do.
And then there's those Dark Jedis there too when you first get
Oh, yeah,
there.
that was
the
a fun
assassins?
fight.
Yeah. You just go to town on them. But yeah, it's my favorite planet.
All right, my favorite planet would have to be Korriban, just because it was so dark and scary.
You guys are such Sith lords.
Well, that and what was it, Rashawn, the water
We're
world?
choking you as we speak.
Manon.
It's just not
Was it
working.
Manon?
Yeah, Manon.
Yeah, Manon. Manon was a water-covered world where
Manon was a close second.
it's
Really? I hated that.
Yeah, I hated that
it's a
world.
hard planet because everybody's under scrutiny. Everybody. And it's also a neutral planet, so you have Sith and Republic people there.
And they can't fight because of the
cannot
government
fight,
systems.
I
The
can't-
only, I hated the main mission where you go underwater.
That was hard.
Yeah,
The
that was
only-
scary.
the only
those
good-
little guys.
Yeah, the only good part was that dude. The only good part was that dude in the locker.
Oh, fishy. I'm not coming out. And he couldn't-
I tried my
Fish out
hardest
there.
to get him out.
Yeah.
Also, there's a side quest in there where you have to present a court case.
Oh,
And if you
Fine.
if you do not collect enough evidence, you're stuck in there because it auto saves you in there. And if you don't collect enough evidence, you die. You're executed, and you have to start the whole game over because you're stuck there.
I always poison the KOTOR.
yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
Really?
You did?
Yeah.
You got major dark points right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That was
did
the
other
only
way.
dark thing I ever did in KOTOR.
I did the
You're
math.
like these fish, man.
Yeah, we're gonna get back to it
the
after a
machine.
while.
I broke the machine or something.
Did you really?
Either way, you're like screwed. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the government hates you. Either way.
Yeah.
yeah.
They'll get back to.
Yeah, that was bad.
I like
Because of-
Kashyyyk, the planet.
It was cool.
I did too. And I got my
I
favorite.
like how Zarblar was in that whole, like, his brother was trying to take over the whole Lion King thing.
yeah.
The only reason I didn't like it so much is for some reason my Xbox decided to glitch the hell out of it.
Yeah, that was the glitchiest.
Yeah,
little
I think it's because it was also
We,
the biggest
we
one.
played it on PC and it lagged like crazy.
Oh, that's also got like the most those Kinrath things that you push
Oh,
like
yeah.
every 5 seconds.
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
like,
the stupid monkey.
Gotta get a fucking antidote thing again.
Trying
Really?
to find that monkey
that,
with the.
that bounty
Yeah.
hunter
The
thing.
glands.
Oh yeah.
Did y'all?
Oh, you also
Oh, sick,
you also
there's-
get another not Hissis, Tanek. Yeah,
Yeah.
He's a little hurt though.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's from it's those other creatures made of pure dark side energy. It's you actually find the remains of a Jedi hunter looking for it. It's pretty cool.
You know what's hard on that level? The Pizak player.
Oh yeah, he was.
That dude was a douche.
Wasn't he like a
He
green?
was one of the Rodian.
Yeah.
He's already-
Wouldn't know.
He was one of the hardest Pizak players. He was a true like rival.
Another thing about KOTOR is that it had its own card game inside of it called Pizak, and you had to get to.
It's basically what should have been called
No.
Pasuck.
No, it was the greatest part of that game.
Oh, I just.
It was a fun. It was
You're
a
lying.
fun little game.
You're lying.
You had to get. I think it was to 20, right?
21.
21 or 20.
So it's basically black.
But there are
black.
positive and negative cards.
Yeah, you.
Let's not lie to these
Every
people.
time you draw, you get a positive or negative card,
And they totally cheated.
and they do cheat. Yeah.
Kabir had the perfect combination to always get 21. At one time, somehow
Now,
they had
22.
29. They had 29, so they're way above, right? -8 card. A
have that one.
8 card. Like, what?
Like, you fucked
I-
right.
There was one time I played through KOTOR and I just mastered that game.
yeah.
I beat everyone I could. I just
I
got
had
all
fun.
the cards I could.
Well, that's how I made my money.
I love that
I
game.
had way more fun pod racing.
Yeah,
Really?
Pod racing
Way
was fun.
Well, it wasn't pod racing, it was swoop bike
swoop bike
racing, but
racing.
it was the same thing.
I didn't enjoy it as much.
Well, not only that, but like a lot of the levels were hard. I swear to God, some of those were cheating.
Manon was gay.
Yeah, Manon.
Freaking hard.
Yeah, word to the wise, don't fix the Ithorian's bike on Manon.
He will screw you over, man.
It is so hard to beat him after you do that. Even if you're being a good guy, it is not worth it.
All right, so getting on to the Star Wars universe, what's the biggest thing that you want to have if you're in the Star Wars universe?
A lightsaber.
A lightsaber.
Lightsaber.
And you get one in this.
A Death Star?
Well, that's a pretty close second.
Hijack it.
Hijack the Death Star. But you do get a lightsaber in this because you are a Jedi. You become a Jedi. And you get to customize it pretty heavily. So, Jackson, what is your favorite upgrade and
Color, yeah.
And color
Oh,
for the
yeah.
lightsaber?
What was your loadout, Jackson?
Well, I always had 2 double-bladed lightsabers, and that is the one that Darth Maul had. Not to be confused, you could have one lightsaber. You can have 2, like
Dual
one
wield.
lightsaber, yeah, which is pretty awesome. First time I ever played the game, beat it with that.
And you could have a longer lightsaber, a single-bladed lightsaber, and a short-bladed lightsaber.
Which is how you're supposed
Insane
to have
choice.
it. But anyway,
Colors?
What was your color?
double-bladed lightsaber, purple.
Purple!
I like the purple.
Right here. Right here.
And then I always had a second one because you could customize the lightsaber. So I had 2 double-bladed, purple and blue, or green. And the green one was for killing droids because it had crystals that were designed for just slaughtering droids.
Yeah.
You can also do like the lenses and the laser emitters.
That's only in KOTOR 2.
Yeah, this is crystals on
Yeah,
there.
Is
this
it
is crystals.
the crystals? Oh, we'll get to that one later. But anyway.
And the other one was just for sheer just killing everything else.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Joseph, what about you?
Okay, I was a little weird, I guess, but I used 2 short.
You're fired, man.
That's ridiculous.
What are you doing?
I used a yellow and a blue.
Even the colors.
What?
I love blue. Sometimes I just single wheel the short one.
What?
Yoda?
I know, right?
Oh man.
It's alright, I'll take on the galaxy with this little lightsaber.
Like, this is how powerful I am.
Okay, you see this little fly swatter? Get ready
I
now.
always use the crate pearl in
Yeah.
one
Yeah,
of them.
that was pretty powerful.
Probably the blue one. And then like Jackson, I had a droid one with the yellow one.
That's cool.
So you gotta stun them.
What about you, Jared?
I dual wielded, but on my right it was a long sword, and on my left was a short.
That's lame.
But on the right,
That's how you're supposed
That's how
to do
you're
it.
supposed to do
the
it.
right one, the green one, I put the crate pearl, and then on the left one I put some other crystal, but it was like a really good crystal, and it was purple,
Both purple?
really good.
green and purple.
I
Green and
remember
purple.
I had the one, like, had a crate pearl and something that was, like, good for light versus dark side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one, man, that crystal was beast.
Also, you had different crystals that affected your affinity to the Force, light or dark. So your power increased if you were lighter or darker according to these crystals. It's pretty cool. For mine, I like to dual wield 2 full-size lightsabers.
Alright, now you just...
I'm the badass here.
What? Oh, we got a bad.
We got a badass in the house.
Did you run like this?
I did. I did.
What you did?
I flew like an eagle down that hallway.
With your short sabers?
Someone thinks they're Star Killer over here.
I don't need to make a statement. I'm secure with my masculinity.
If you had your way, you'd have like a cloud lightsaber.
I would have a cloud lightsaber. And I loved having one that was a super strong lightsaber that would just like obliterate everything, like a damage of like 52. And then the other one, I would actually have it smaller, but it would do it would have the reflect damage. Or I'm sorry, the like it would reflect laser. Yeah, it would deflect lasers and stuff. So I would have a bigger defense. And also the colors were purple on the right side,
Of course.
and red on the left.
Oh, red.
It's always green and purple.
It is.
In
And
my opinion.
if you look up, Revan actually has a purple lightsaber
Yeah.
and a red lightsaber. So it's like, I am Revan. That's right. All right, so we got lightsabers.
But the coolest Revan art I've seen, he has a blue.
Oh, that's true. Those are some cool ones. And
Did
also,
anyone ever use the stimuli packs?
I did.
I didn't.
I never
Jackson
did.
did.
I always play on the hardest.
You know
one.
why I didn't? Because every time I did, I'd have like no life, so it'd give me like a little inch of life. But then as soon as it wore off, I died.
Yeah, that's true. you have to balance them out because they have side effects too.
Yeah,
I never messed with them. No.
I didn't either. I sold them.
Candace is the one that always gave me. I'm like, free? Sure.
I just
yeah.
gave it to him.
Well, it's either that or I'd sell them. I mean, it's free money.
I don't just give it back. Like I don't want it.
Henderson, I'm okay. You need this more than I do.
I'm revving.
What was the best thing the guys gave you? Like the spikes from
Computer spikes are pretty
yeah.
Yeah, I
Computer
love
spikes and the
those.
grenades.
Yeah.
Grenades were cool. Because they'd ask you, like, what kind of grenade do you want?
What
I'm
did
like,
Mission
plasma?
give you?
Grenades.
Mission give you
No, I thought that was Zarbler.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That is Zarbar.
Mission.
They shouldn't play Pazak with you.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, she also sold you
Lame.
cards, too, though. didn't she?
Yeah, I think so.
And also in KOTOR, there's a huge, wide range of weapons. Not just lightsabers, but you get
Viral blades.
You get vibroblades, which actually can handle lightsabers because of an element inside the blade.
Yeah.
You get blasters, blaster rifles, heavy blasters. Did this one have? This one had. Mission had a rocket launcher on her.
No, that was.
No,
that was
Oh no, that was in 2.
Bowcasters.
Bowcasters and grenades of all kinds. You had like thermal
My
detonators.
character never touched the blaster. I'm sorry. I'm a Jedi. I'm not gonna use a blaster.
I dual wielded.
I was all about the dual
It
gun.
was kind of cool to dual wield a gun.
Oh, in fact, even for a little bit after I was a Jedi, I still used 2 guns for a little bit.
Gaffy sticks.
I could.
Oh yeah,
I could
yeah.
Oh,
So, Jackson-
don't neglect the gaffy stick.
So Jackson, what's your favorite alternative weapon?
Either 2 swords or 2 guns, 2 blaster pistols.
That's cool.
The 2 blaster pistols with your scoundrel at first. That's the only way you can get through that game.
Joseph.
Yeah, I gotta say 2 blaster
Two
pistols.
blaster pistols?
There was this one though. It was like a disruptor or something, and it like disintegrated people. When they
Yeah, it was
died.
really good against droids.
Yeah.
What was your favorite type of blaster, Jackson? Did you like
Kind
the,
of the same thing. I'd have got versus for normal people and then versus droids.
Did you
It's
like
all
the,
strategic.
Did you like the Mandalorian heavy blasters? Like those like
Yes,
Like those
essentially.
streamlined
the Rippers.
Yeah.
Yes.
those things
those
would
are cool.
destroy people.
Yeah, you gave mission 2 of those things. Goodbye. Just
And what about you?
die
Greg?
already. Just die already.
Double bladed fire blade.
Those were cool.
Before I was a Jedi.
And you could upgrade these weapons. Too.
Oh,
Yeah.
one of the ones you get on the Sith world poison people. That
yeah,
one was really
the poison
useful.
blades.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes I'd go with a lightsaber and a sword.
yeah. Well, actually, that's pretty cool because it would cut through different things.
The
Yeah.
one, the Zalbar's sword. or
Yeah,
whatever,
double one?
Oh, yeah,
that one
Hashtag
is
blade
good.
was beast.
His ceremonial one.
Yeah,
Did you ever
ceremonial.
give him that one?
That, that thing
I
was a
did,
cloud
and
blade right
I
there.
let Zalbar just run train on some things.
Yeah, no, he gets it from his brother or whatever. Yeah, that
Yeah,
big
yeah.
double blade one.
Yeah.
My favorite ones were probably the grenades. I don't know why.
Did
They were cool.
you? The first time you got like a thermal detonator.
That was like
That was so awesome.
Well, the thing is,
How big it
my
was, the
first one.
explosion?
My first one I got, I actually didn't use it because I was actually going to sell some because I needed some armor, and they sold it to, or they bought it from me for like 3,000 credits. I'm like, holy crap! So I sold it, and then when I got another one, I used it, and it almost killed me because of how big the explosion was.
I think something that was really useful, especially on Terrace, was equipping the flamethrower to the T3.
Oh, yeah.
That one really helped.
Yeah, and
Remember
you-
those little shields that you would activate were really good.
Well, you had like the different shields, the energy shields
Yeah.
and the melee shields too.
Yeah.
And you can get one for each arm too, so you could activate one.
Yeah, you had belts and you had gauntlets and all that-
Visors and
yeah.
stuff like that.
And like implants. You
Yeah.
gotta get that implant.
That's what's cool about this game is it was very upgradable and customizable to whatever you wanted to play. And you had three people to do it for
They
too.
really should have kept that with like Mass Effect.
They really should. Well,
That's a different podcast.
well, they kind of
No,
had that.
I'm just mentioning it since it's their game.
He's a little bitter.
Well, they kind of have it in the first one, but then they kind of move on from it. All right, so favorite weapons. Do you guys want to do side casts or side quests or no?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit of fun side quests.
Okay, Jackson, what's your favorite side quest?
Without a doubt, even though it requires you to be basically evil, was this bounty hunter side quest that like you
Yeah.
had to be alone and like go to this little Rhodian guy Manon. Which, by the way, if you're gonna do this, don't go to Manon first and screw over. You can't ever go back if
You can really screw over yourself
Yeah.
badly.
But you eventually come to this guy. I think it's right after the first star map. This Twilight guy walks up to you and goes, "I think you dropped this data pad." You're like, I didn't drop that.
You dropped the data.
No, I think you just
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
You dropped it. It came out of your. And so anyway, you take the data pad. You can't say no. You read it, and it's cool. You're like part of this like secret assassins guild that like kills government officials.
Awesome.
And yeah, it's all dark side, which kind of sucks. But you kill some pretty sweet people. My favorite being the Kashyyyk guy.
That was pretty cool.
Because on Kashyyyk, there's these monkeys, and first time you go there, you just think they're little monkeys, jumping around. But then you get this. Then you go on a quest to kill this guy who's a shapeshifter, and he's one of the monkeys. And so you start running around just basically killing monkeys, and and then you fight a Wookiee, and he's that guy. And then he comes back as a Tyrannotech thing, and he's that guy. And
that's another thing about this is that you can play it two different ways, and you can really have a huge experience on either one.
Yeah.
Are those monkeys are called Pyjaks, right?
Yeah.
Is that the same as the Mass Effect
Yep.
monkeys?
Whoa, that's cool.
Connection.
What universe is that from?
What do you mean?
The Pyjaks. Are they Star Wars characters?
I don't know.
I guess so, since they were
Originally,
first in
yeah.
it.
What about you, Joseph?
Well, like Jackson, I love that one, but it was also it's my favorite, but also the most frustrating one because I wanted to get bounties and everything, but then it turns out just to be like this
An assassin guild.
Yeah, well, it turns out that they're
It's
using
a total fake.
Yeah, they're using you and stuff like that.
I mean, I have another one in case y'all don't say it.
But probably one of my favorite was this funny little one where you're smuggling stuff for a guy.
Oh,
and it's like, don't go open it.
That's the one I was about to say.
If you're telling me not to open this, I'm gonna go. Open it.
It's on my shit, bro.
So all of a sudden, the screen goes white, and you're just in this void. It's all white. There's nothing around. You walk around for a little bit. Then you see this guy. Isn't he Manon or something like that?
No, he's last place.
Is he? Oh yeah, one of those guys. And he gives you this riddle. I don't even remember what the riddle was though.
Jackson, how did you do on that riddle?
Let's just say I got a couple game overs, Jared.
But I thought that was really. I thought
that was light. Okay,
that
was it?
Just a really funny little side quest.
Do you remember the riddle?
I don't.
I remember the answer to it.
I remember I got it correct on the first try though.
Oh, that's cool.
All right, Jared, what's yours?
I kind of like one from Terrace, the whole fighting league.
That was
Mysterious Stranger.
The last dude, the Ben
Benedict Starkiller.
Yeah.
And funny enough, that actually was from George Lucas's first draft of Starkiller, because Starkiller was the original character.
Yeah.
That was back in the Force Unleashed.
But
And then it goes to Force Unleashed.
I liked getting his armor and I liked fighting him
Those
because he's
guys
the
are
big
funny,
dude. And they're like, this is not a regular match. This is to the death.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
And you're like, okay.
Oh, he will only fight to the
Yeah.
death.
Only
so
fight
you
to
have
the-
to
that's
make-
how you got him.
Because that's how he used to fight, is to the death, and then they stopped that.
So he retired.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, great Easter egg that I bet nobody in this room has done, but lose to Deadeye Duncan sometime.
Oh yeah,
I've done that.
Oh, because this guy, his stats are they must be all negative.
He's like
ones.
a magic heart.
He is abysmal. He's somehow in the fighting league, and he's old, and he gets his butt handed to him every fight. And he's the first guy, and you normally just stomp him, but once you figure out how to play the game, you can lose to this guy on purpose, and it's worth it. It's so funny. You don't actually get a game over or anything, but you just teleport you back, and the announcer guy's like, I've never seen this. Duncan has a win.
Those guys were all great. They had Deadeye Duncan,
Twitch.
Twitch was so cool.
Ice, the woman.
Something girl on two fingers.
Yeah, he only had 2 fingers.
Another side quest that was really cool was that droid you find on Dantooine all by himself, and he's like, his owner
yes, he actually abused him.
and he's like, don't tell her that
I
I'm
don't want to
here.
go back.
So that you finally meet his owner, and she's like, is he out there? Is he still alive? And you get the choice of saying he's dead, but he had a good death or something like that. Or you just saw his mangled parts, or that he's out there.
Yeah.
And if you do, he's out there, she finds him, and the droid's like, I hate you.
She's trying to replace her dead husband.
Yeah.
And she's like, how far does she go? You don't know. My favorite. Okay.
That was really fun.
My favorite. It's it's a little darker, but I always want to have an honorable mention of this one. It's where that guy, where you go to a port, and he goes like, hey, so you got to deliver these creatures, right? You're like, no. He's like, well, too bad. They're already loaded into your ship.
Yeah.
So you have
hated those.
these little freaking, like, creatures that look like some kind of frog bunny rabbit. And they're just, like, wandering about your ship. There's, like,
I like them ones.
there's like dozens of them. And every time
Did you leave them?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I found a buyer for them, so I got them out of my ship. But it was just kind of funny. Every time I'd walk in, like, with this badass armor coming on.
Did you poison them? Anyone ever poison them?
Jackson.
How did you do that, Jackson?
I didn't even get dark side points for it. I know how fucked up is that. Like,
You get credits if you sell them.
I know. I sold
if you
them.
keep them on your ship, they're like on the last planet. You know how you like.
Yeah, they'd run out.
Run out. I thought that was cute.
My favorite side quest, though, has to be the Tenek hunt. You
Oh,
finish
yeah.
the hunt.
That's super hard though.
It was hard.
Wait, which one is this?
It's the
Korriban.
one. Yeah, Korriban and Kashyyyk. It's where you fight those monsters made of pure dark side energy.
Yeah.
And what's cool is that if you go back in the comics and stuff, they're actually related to that because of Exar Kun and stuff. And in the Tenek hunt, you actually find the Keldroma robes, which is Ulet Keldroma and K Keldroma's robes, left by their cousin, I think. And
Didn't a Jedi give you that quest? Like
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
before you left Tatooine?
because the hunters were all Jedi.
Yeah.
And once you find the Keldroma robes, you get to wear them. They're like the most powerful Jedi robes you can have. And they're the only ones that wear you can only wear them if you're light side.
Yeah.
And they're like they're like armor robes. is what they are.
They're super strong. You know what?
I honestly didn't use them though, because I didn't like the look of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just look like Jedi robes.
The quest I didn't like was that little girl on your ship.
That was alright.
She's like speaking some
I
kind of
like figuring it
Mandalorian.
out and
Yeah.
then finally talking, like figuring out where she came from and stuff.
I didn't like the Romeo and Juliet thing on Dancing with Me.
Really?
Oh,
weird.
yeah.
Oh my
like
god,
that
I
one.
hated that.
Stupid.
Well, you can also have like a horrible ending. Like
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
families.
if you don't
I
like
love
Judas
Dark
right.
Side. That was so funny. It's like kill everything. You can actually say that, and like all of a sudden, both droids just start firing at each other.
I love doing bad endings, and you're like, you just like walk off like, oh man.
Whoops.
That did not just happen. But then if you do that, you can go loot everything, and you get like
Yeah.
7,000 credits or something.
I don't know. I didn't enjoy that one.
Jackson's always looking for a way up.
I'm kind of a douchebag when it comes to these kind of games. Kind of a douchebag normally. So
All right, so we got favorite side quests. Now, in also this universe, you pick different classes of that you can play as. For starters, you have what was it?
soldier,
Soldier,
scoundrel, and
scout, and yes, scoundrel.
And then they like evolve.
Yeah, and then they evolve into your
Your
chosen.
Blastoids and your Charizards.
Well, then you evolve into your Jedi classes after you get trained, and your classes are Guardian, Sentinel, and Counselor. The Counselor is the one mostly focused on Force energy and Force powers. The Scoundrel,
Sentinel was combat, wasn't it?
No,
No,
it
it's Guardian.
It was
Guardian?
in the middle.
yeah, Guardian is the more combat oriented and stuff. They have more health points and they're better at weapons.
That was the blue lightsaber, right?
yeah.
Counselor was green, and then Sentinel was yellow.
And
Did
Sentinel
you get your favorite color on your first try of that? When
No,
you, like,
I always
roll?
got blue.
And you change it?
Yeah.
You're like, you don't know me.
Yeah, you always like a cache of like lightsaber crystals.
You would
You're
be
like,
best
fuck
as
this.
best as a consular. It's like, well, I'm gonna go Guardian.
Guardian.
You don't know.
But Sentinel was also the middle class where it had a balance of between them. You also had the most skill points too, so you could upgrade a lot more. But,
That's what companions were for, though.
and let's talk about favorite classes. Which
I
would
didn't even have
be
anything to say.
know.
which would be what, Jackson? What was your favorite class?
Scoundrel.
Right
Give
there.
me some. Give me some.
So
The first time playing ever, though, because I really couldn't figure out this game, I kept just dying on Terrace. I played a soldier. It's really easy.
yeah,
This game's
kind of
easy
muscle
mode.
through.
Yeah, you just pick up 2 swords and you just go wreck some shop, bro.
So what about your favorite Jedi class?
Definitely, and it meshes so well with the Scoundrel, is not the Consular, but the Guardian, the guy that has the Force jump, because
Really?
you get like sneak attack as a Scoundrel, and that's like anything not facing you is going to get like this insane 17 to 23 extra damage. So you do that jump attack, bam,
Oh, yeah.
you get just insane, and then you can build a lightsaber that does a lot to critical strike, and I did like 800 damage or something one time.
Malik, you're dead.
Yeah. Malik, you just died again.
Again. So what about you, Joseph?
I'm always the middle classes on games, so Scout and then Sentinel. One thing I liked was having like security all the way up, so I could just
Yeah, you can
open
just pick a
doors.
lock.
I
right.
never do that in games.
No, really?
There's always a box I can't open. I'm like,
Oh yeah, and then conversation I always have all the way up.
Persuade was really
yeah,
Persuade
I
is
always do
The
that.
best thing to have.
Yeah, and I wanted that yellow lightsaber.
Well,
so-
plus the persuade also like ties into the story too that he's able to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
So.
You can persuade some crazy stuff in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you get force persuade. That was
Yeah.
always fun to do.
Yeah.
You're like, these are not the droids you're looking for. I'm like, I actually said that. Jared, what about you?
Scandrel, of course.
Scoundrel.
I had to high five Jackson.
Oh yeah, go Jared.
And then Sentinel.
Sentinel?
Yeah, the in between guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had a buttload of skill points.
But yeah, you had a lot. My favorite was either Scout and then Sentinel.
What is Scout again?
Scout, it's
Just
like
the
the
middle
it's like the
class.
middle one.
Yeah.
And then Sentinel or Scout and then Guardian. The reason why I liked it so much with the Sentinel was that I loved upgrading my guy like the hell out of him. I mean, I love being able to do anything. I'm like, I don't need you guys. You guys are just cannon fodder.
The
Yeah.
freaking Force Maelstrom.
Oh
That
yeah.
thing is
that
powerful.
thing is so yeah.
I was like getting the Force Lightning and like targeting like 20 people.
Yeah.
Like,
I liked maxing force speed and just jumping and doing like so many bars of like damage or whatever.
Mine was the hurricane thing that like lifted them off the
Yeah.
ground and like
I love
oh yeah, the whirlwind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that was
love
cool.
that stuff.
I loved
I liked even though I was always a good like a light side Jedi, I always had choke.
yeah.
Why not?
Some people make you mad, you gotta choke.
You gotta choke him, man.
Force lightning, duh. Who wouldn't have that? If it's an option, really. You know what I didn't like in that game was force lightsaber throw.
Really?
I thought it sucked.
In the
did
first
kind
one, it
of,
sucked.
yeah.
The second one kind of got a little better,
I
but
mean, I'm throwing a double-bladed lightsaber and it's not doing damage. Like
16
come on.
damage. What the hell, man?
Yeah.
All right, so we're good with classes. All right, so the main story arc that this
The best.
this whole thing revolves around is a character named Revan, and that's who you play.
Yeah.
Oh,
Man.
One of the greatest characters of all time.
It is
my God.
probably the best thing BioWare has ever produced character-wise. Since,
Which is really saying something.
Yeah,
even,
that's saying something.
even like Star Wars.
Yeah,
wise.
even Star Wars.
He's up there with Vader.
and
like,
Obi-Wan.
if I can say this, if this was the original trilogy, this story centered around Revan,
Uh-huh.
it would actually be a better story
Oh, yeah.
than the original trilogy.
What?
I think so, man. Revan is
I mean,
that
that first
cool.
movie would be cool.
Yeah, it's just got a great story, a great twist.
It ha- okay.
Oh man, the
M.
best
Night
twist.
Shyamalan.
This is where we get into major spoilers. So if you have not played the game,
Leave.
Leave right now.
The
Leave right
whole-
now.
the
Come here's my child.
The whole game, you're trying to collect these Starforge coordinates and
Crucible.
Yeah, to get to a thing called the Crucible, where this this other Sith Lord called Revan was building this massive Sith army.
Him and Malik, his apprentice,
Malachi?
pretty much took over the universe, or not the universe, the galaxy.
They're making war on the Republic.
The universe.
Because they had this weapon called the Starforge, which pretty much builds armies for them.
Yeah.
But nobody knows how that happened.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
that, because Revan and Malik were good
Jedis.
guys.
they were Jedi's at one
In fact,
point.
they were the Jedi's. Like,
And this whole thing takes place about 5 years after the Mandalorian War.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so the Republic is not in good shape, and Revan and Malik are like
they were
old
war heroes.
Yeah, they're
and-
war
Yeah,
heroes of the Republic, and now they're Sith because they turned to the dark side.
but
Well, they went off on this journey.
Yeah.
and nobody knows where the hell they went.
Yeah, but then all of a sudden they came back, they were evil.
Bringing the Sith Empire with them,
Yeah.
and you're trying to figure out all those coordinates, everything else, and you get on to Malik's command ship, the apprentice, because Revan was apparently killed.
Yeah.
And Bastila was part of that. Bastila, the main female Jedi companion, was on that boarding team. And you meet Malik on the onto the capital ship, and he starts talking to you. He goes, and he's talking to you like he knows you, and you're like, "What's going on?" And then he looks at you. He was like, "You really
don't know.
You really don't know who you are."
The whole entire buildup of this game it's kind of assumes Revan, but like your character just starts off where you're in a ship on the Republic.
Yeah, once
so you have no idea really what your background is.
Yeah, they say you were like recruited because you have special talents.
You even have like other like false memories too.
Yeah, completely.
Khan finds the whole time that you're the only survivor. Like, why that is.
He's like, "Shut up, dude."
Completely, that's all been implanted by the Jedi. That in the whole entire time you've been Revan. Just
You were Revan.
You're like,
And the way that they do it is the coolest thing, because Revan wears this Mandalorian helmet all the time, like in the flashbacks and the cinematics that you've seen of him. He always wears a helmet, or she, but we're getting into canon. And the way that they do it, he's standing on this precipice overlooking the Sith Empire, and he takes off the helmet, and it's you.
Yeah.
And you were going like, "What the fuck?" Like, the first time I went this, I was like in my bedroom, I'm like, "What? What?" And my dad comes in going like, "You alright?" I'm like, "What?"
yeah.
And,
Dad, I'm Revan.
"Dad, I'm Revan."
He's like, okay.
He's like, "Okay."
Keep it down.
And it was a mind-blowing just twist. Like I think Jared said, M. Night Shyamalan. It's like, what the twist? But it was so good, and then everything starts to make sense about how
you replay the game. It's so interesting.
you pick up everything. And it doesn't mean that it ruins the whole game for you. But
I've played like 10 times.
I've played it like 10 or 20 times.
Yeah.
I love that
All
game.
sorts
Yeah, I
of ways
have
to play this
to.
game.
There's just so much you can do with it, but there's so much you can do with this character too, because you can either be the prodigal knight or the returning conqueror of the Sith.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you kill your crew.
If you're evil.
yeah, you can kill your entire crew except for like Canderous and
Yeah.
Bastila. Well, you can even kill Bastila.
And HK-47.
Yeah.
Which is why I love freaking Canderous. He doesn't give a crap.
He's like, "I'll do
Whoever
it."
wins.
Yeah, that's it. But no, it's just such a good story and such a good character. And what's kind of cool is that you feel really connected to it because you've built so much into this character that it's you. And then you find out you're Revan. You're just like, what?
Yeah, and like it's so cool because like whenever you're first becoming a Jedi, the Jedi are like, we don't normally have like
20-year-old.
yeah, 20, however old you're supposed to be. Like you're too old usually, but we're gonna make an exception
Because you're
in
like
this case.
Because you're like this powerful.
Yeah, and like whenever you go to the Sith Academy, like some people actually know who you are.
Yeah.
Like they can actually sense it, but they're not gonna say anything. And then like you finally go to the final
It's
planet.
like Naruto. They know he's the nine-tailed fox. They don't tell him.
They're not gonna tell him that because that could ruin some stuff. And like it colors the whole journey, and it makes it just. Calo Nord doesn't beat you. Malik's apprentice can't beat you. Malak can't beat you. It's just like Revan.
That's a
I'm
total
Revan.
baby face.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm Revan.
Revan,
and then you
man.
start walking around. You even start saying that, like I'm Revan, bitches, bow down. Like
Even one of the star maps recognizes you.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
like you're Revan. No, I'm not. Yeah.
Oh, hey, sir.
But
And that's too. It's really cool about this character too is that he's also.
I like HK-47's real life. Or like,
Oh,
when he
yeah.
finally tells you, "Are you like fix him?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm your droid."
Yeah, HK-47 turns out to be Revan's like assassin
Yeah,
droid, like
personal
his
assassin
personal
droid.
assassin droid. But that's cool. What's cool about this character too, like in the whole lore of this thing, he's the smartest that there's ever been. He's the ultimate strategist.
That's what I liked about him.
Yeah.
He's like really smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he is a powerful character, but he's not the most powerful. Like
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker is more powerful. I think even
Vader.
Vader,
Yeah.
even Starkiller was more powerful than him.
Yeah.
But this guy is the ultimate smart guy.
Yeah.
He is the
You're
smartest.
not gonna beat Vader. Can't touch him. In
Yeah, Vader
chess.
can't touch him in this. Well, even that, he's like Batman. I mean, he has a plan for everything, and that's what's cool about this is he could also persuade anybody to follow him.
Yeah, before Revan became the Revan, like he kind of single-handedly beat the Mandalorians.
yeah, because
Yeah.
the Jedi's didn't want to get into a fight with him.
Yeah.
So he pretty much had to do it all himself.
Yeah, and using persuasion and just incredible tactical ability, not so much through the Force, but just through him being Revan.
Being Revan.
He
Well,
beat
he
the
also took
Mandalorians.
like half of the Jedi Order with him. They all followed him.
And then when he came as the Conqueror, the Republic could beat him. Like it was
No,
until
not that, but
Malik
half
betrayed him.
half of the
it was
Jedi
their
like
time.
turned to the dark side too.
Yeah.
like the ones that were following him all turned to Sith.
So Revan held the galaxy at its throat, which is one of my favorite whole aspects about it. It's so
You're just this incredibly, just amazing character that and what's cool is that they present it as you. You are this character, and that's what you're going like.
so good, dude.
And I was like, I am Revan.
I'm
That's right.
Like walk around with the lightsaber. I'm Revan.
He just grabbed a guy. I'm Revan.
I was a little disappointed that he didn't get his robes till like the very
Yeah.
end.
And he
You
didn't
never
get
got
the
the
mask.
mask.
Never got the
Mask
mask.
was so cool.
And
That would've
this
been
mask
awesome.
is like Boba Fett meets like Vader's mask.
Well, it's
Yeah.
so cool because
It's so
he
awesome.
beats the Mandalorians and he takes the leaders.
Yeah, that's his mask now.
Yeah.
But
Just
no-
as the ultimate bitch slap to the
Yeah.
Mandalorians. Like,
But yeah, it's just such good writing, and like the Old Republic now, like the new game that BioWare has out, Star Wars: The Old Republic. It's all kind of centered around this.
Yeah.
It's not exactly like it, but it has some of the elements. You can see some of the lore in it. But this game really had it all. It was probably one of the perfect RPG games that I loved.
oh man.
It
was a journey.
was a journey.
I still go back to it from time to time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so do I. You can get it on Steam if you guys.
For $9.99, the best $9.99 you'll spend if you haven't played this game.
You can also find it on Xbox if you can find it. I recommend it getting unopened because it does take a lot to play the game, and it kind of scratches it up pretty bad if you don't take care of it. But I think guys, what would you give this out of 10?
Oh,
10.
10.
10.
It is a 10 all
Maybe
right. In
an
fact,
11.
9.9.
And 11.
shut up. In fact, Toonami actually gave this a perfect score.
I remember that.
way back in the day, and that's when I first got it. I'm like,
That's why I first got it.
I was like, hey, we gotta play this.
I mean, if Tom likes it,
Yeah. Should we go through the storyline really fast?
Really fast.
Zip line. Start off, you wake up and you're in the flagship.
Oh, the
Of
Republic,
Yeah, the Republic.
Yeah.
stuff's going down. You're like getting shot down, I believe.
You meet Karth.
You get in the one escape pod left.
You meet this angel named Karth.
This
fallen angel.
This demon.
You glimpse Bastila real fast. She's like running through
You're
the
like-
ship.
Yeah.
Oh, she died. No.
Yeah.
Dang it!
you go down,
You
you
steal
crash,
some Sith.
Yeah, you get
Sith
some armor
Yeah,
and
you
you
get
get
some
your
armor.
weapons so you can survive.
Yeah.
and you crash land onto a planet. I think it's Terrace.
Terrace.
Yeah,
It's the Coruscant of the old Republic.
Yeah.
yeah.
And you do, all the right things happen to make you find Bastila. Like you find.
Yeah,
Yeah, you gotta
Look-
find Bastila.
You
Yeah.
find Canderous and Zarbar and Mission on this planet.
There's zombies on this planet.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
go down into the
Oh man.
dark places.
There is a lot to do on this planet.
Yeah.
This is the first
Paris
planet.
is kind of a pain in the ass, honestly.
You-
But
Yeah.
You could get a massage.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was weird.
Wait,
That-
what is this?
When you're in
that crime lord's like palace.
Oh
You get a
yeah!
massage and like you go in and the
Yeah.
is like all men are pigs.
yeah, and
And
they're like,
Canderous is like, mm-hmm.
and they're like, do you want another one? And you're
I
like,
did. I did multiple times.
Anyway, you like steal this crime lord ship. It's the Ebon Hawk, and
Yeah.
you go to Dantooine.
Well, we didn't tell what happens to terrorists.
yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
By the way,
yeah.
by the
No,
way,
why the reason you need this ship is because the Sith are gonna bomb it.
yeah.
The entire planet.
They glass the planet.
They glass it.
Just
Yeah.
looking for Bastila. She's
Yeah.
pretty important. But yeah, and the reason this ship is the only one that can even outrun it. So everything dies except for your little crew on the Ebon Hawk.
Then you go to Dantooine, which
To
has
do-
the Jedi Enclave.
Yeah, do your Jedi training.
Yeah, you meet the Jedi.
You gotta go
Council.
through trials.
Yeah. Oh
right.
My God.
You gotta solve
a murder mystery.
yeah.
I like that side
one.
quest.
That's a
did
good
like
side
that.
quest.
You construct your lightsaber.
You construct your lightsaber. You go into this dark place,
You meet
which
Juhani.
is the Star
Oh
Map.
my god!
Juhani, the worst character in the game.
so bad.
I liked her. I'm sorry.
Well, there's got to be one, I guess.
Everybody gets one.
I left her butt there.
If you're a dark side person, you can kill
I
her, and
kept
it's
her.
most satisfying.
I kept her, but I didn't talk to her. She just stayed in that
She
room.
just stayed in that one room.
I left her.
I killed her.
And then Dantooine gets glass, so she's dead.
Well, it happens a little later, but yeah,
Yeah.
it does happen.
And then they send you off.
To find all the
To
Star
find the
Forges.
sto-
Yeah, at the end of Dantooine, you find this what they call as a star map,
Map.
Yeah.
and this pretty much leads through. This is the main quest of the game. Is Revan and Malik went around finding these maps on these different planets, and the planets happen to be Kashyyyk, Manan, Korriban, and Tatooine.
Where'd you go first?
Usually Kashyyyk,
Yeah.
but afterwards I started going to Korriban first. It's my favorite.
Tatooine for me.
Yeah.
You get a lot done there. You do.
Yeah, you do.
Let's see. And after that, everything happens, and then Bastila gets taken captive by Malik. So you don't have her for a while.
It's that like famous part of the BioWare games where stuff happens.
Yeah.
Well, like Mass Effect 1, when you have to make the
yeah.
decision of
Yeah.
who you're killing off.
Yeah.
There's always this part in BioWare games.
Kaden, by the way.
Didn't Bastila like turn evil for a little
She
bit?
did.
Yeah.
She does. Yeah. After like her tortures and stuff.
Yeah.
After you find 3 of the star maps, you're
And then
taken.
you're like, babe, come on.
Yeah. And through the
back,
whole
babe.
thing, you get to
Babe, come
flirt.
back.
Unless you're eating.
Wait!
Well, through the whole thing, you get to flirt with her and everything else, and then they finally like your character and her character like fall in love, and that's
And
a
then
big.
you make whoopee.
And then you make whoopee with her.
We all know what happens.
We all know
We
what
all knew what
happens.
happens. So did everyone else.
So
on
does
that
everybody
ship.
else. But
I made Karth walk.
that comes into play later too, though, because that's also I'll get that in a second. But she gets taken, so you have to find the final star map, and you get all the coordinates, and then you go to the Star Forge where they finally find it, and there, I think it's like on a planet, right? Like underneath it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a magnetic
You
force.
you encounter the remnants of the Star Forge creators as the Rack Attack Empire.
Yeah.
And that
oh, that's so cool.
I was calling
that-
the Rat-a-tat Empire.
their empire was like 10,000 years before the
Those
Republic.
guys were cool. I like them.
Like started. Not
I believe
10,000
they made
years
the
before.
Reapers.
Were they the
That makes
first
sense.
empire in Star Wars lore?
Yes.
Yes, they are.
Yes,
They were,
They're the biggest
Every
ones.
single, according to the ancient legends, every single species bowed down to
Yeah,
these
they
guys.
were all slaves. to
Yeah,
them.
that
But also-
nothing until they all rose up against them. But that's how insane their empire was.
And also, like most of the civilizations and stuff, they actually planted it there too, like to be created later on.
And all the hyperspace technology, all the technology that Star Wars runs off of, comes from these guys.
Reapers before they were robots.
And you
Really
find the
cool.
Star Forge,
Really,
and then
really
Bastila confronts you, and she's evil now.
Yeah.
And she's
Yeah.
kind of hard too. She's kinda
Oh,
hard
she
boss.
was weak.
The one I played.
I smacked her so hard.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, me and Jolie
Damn.
kind of just.
Yeah.
Oh, did you have Jolie with you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I only had like
Yeah, man.
Candace and like Karth with me, so
I
I,
just
had like no
spin her
backup
around
force.
with the force.
I'm Revan. She can't do anything.
I'm Revan. Oh yeah, that's also what happens before then. Is Bastila gets captured on the flagship of the Sith, Malik ship. That's how she gets captured. Right before you go to the Star Forge.
I hate it when
just torturing her.
Karth found out you were Revan.
Oh my god!
Such a liar.
Karth in general.
You lied to me. You lied to me.
I didn't know.
I don't know, bro. He's like, how do we know you won't betray us? Like,
He's like,
betray a thing again?
Sure.
Really?
You're like,
How about I just shoot you out the airlock? How does that sound?
Candace push him out.
Yeah.
And then you go up to the Star Forge and you get a reply from the Republic saying, "Hey, we're bringing all of our forces here."
Yeah, pretty cool space
It was a
battle
cool
happens.
space battle too, especially back then. It was like
Yeah.
it wasn't even all that high tech, but it was pretty cool.
remember before you go to like each planet, you had to like shoot down a couple fighters.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
it's a
forgot
cool
about
little side
that.
quest of that. But you go to the Star Forge and you fight Bastila. You can either kill her, redeem her, or fall in love and redeem her. So
Oh, I redeemed her.
Let's also note that this was such a badass part because you're fighting all of Malik's
Yeah.
armies
Yeah.
by
all the
yourself.
Sith, all the
All
Sith
your
acolytes.
companions.
Yeah, well, you three stood in front of an army in Malik, and you managed
You managed to get him.
do it all. Like, yeah.
And that's another thing. If your character falls in love with her and she falls in love with you, it's a little easier to persuade her not to kill herself
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, she's gonna do that.
Yeah.
Stupid.
And then she uses her special ability called battle meditation. That's why the Sith want her, by the way.
Yeah,
It's because she
battle
can
meditation.
meld.
I just found that kind of lame.
That's pretty lame. Because even in like the Old Republic, like Tales of the Jedi, I think it was pretty lame.
They do it in the New Republic too.
Do
Yeah.
they?
Yeah, that's how
Oh,
they
geez.
beat the Vong.
She can sway
I hate that
an
power.
entire army to want to fight harder, while the
Well,
other side wants to fight way
Yeah,
less.
and it also has to do
It
with
makes
coordination.
sense, you know.
So everyone's moving at the same places and stuff like that.
She kind of like links everybody up,
Yeah.
basically.
I mean, it's It would be a very like if you had it, you'd make the ultimate coach for any team. You know?
It's a cool like power, but it's kind of lame.
It is.
So you do that. And
You really need Droid Destroy when you get on that star.
Yeah.
Forward.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
there's so many like turrets in that thing.
Yeah.
And you get up to Malik, and he like does a whole speech. Oh, if you want to turn to the dark side, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And-
Or well, it should have. What if we had switched roles? I love that line.
Yeah.
And it had been me who had been redeemed.
Would I have done it as well? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
It's a little harder since you're like half of your face is missing.
The Malik fight, was it hard?
Yeah.
It
Sometimes.
depends.
Well,
You need drain life.
Yeah.
To
well,
kill
actually,
those things.
if you drain life, you actually get dark side
Yeah,
points.
Dark
Oh, you
Side
do?
So
Forward.
if you destroy them, though, you get light side points.
How do you just destroy them?
Lightning or just shoot them.
I have, yeah.
Oh, in the whole chamber where you're fighting Malik, there's these Jedis that are like not dead. They're kind of like in between death, and they're keeping them alive so you can suck the life out of them. So redrain
I
his.
think lightning works good on those guys.
Yeah. But you can either release them like by killing them,
Or you can fight Malik 11 times, which is how it sometimes went down.
It's a little-
Grenades!
Grenades!
How they killed that
Grenades
guy.
are a
That's where you're
huge factor in that.
Stim pack.
froze him or like twirl him around. And
Or
just-
set them on fire with the plasma grenade.
yeah.
But that's how it ends, and then you become Revan the
I used
Prodigal Knight.
landmines one time, and he would just step on them.
Landmines.
Oh, I remember I made a real skillful Revan. I could like sneak around and like plant mines everywhere, and then I would unstealth, and Malcolm would just be like, he'd turn around, alright, I'm coming back, and I'm all disappeared. Stealth.
Yeah.
Did anyone use the dance code?
The dance code?
Yeah.
Yeah, where you make Malik dance at the
The first shepherd dance.
How do you do that?
What is this?
It's just code. It's like and he dances to like,
Yeah, he
Twi'lek
dances to it.
music.
That's hilarious.
But anyway, after you're done, like the whole Republic is saved, and you become Revan the Prodigal Knight. Or if you're dark side,
You get the mask again.
you get the mask again, and you become the Conqueror Revan.
Which
So-
isn't canon, so don't do that.
Yeah, it's not canon.
I mean, I'm just kidding.
It's
It's a
fun.
cool.
and that's
it's a cool
another thing
ending.
about
it really
this.
is.
That's
Play
another
it
thing
both
about
ways.
this thing is that it is canon. Like the whole story, it's canon.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
It's Bioware. You can play however you want.
Bastil is your apprentice.
BioWare being the gaming company that it is, it's definitely one of my favorites. This is its crowning jewel.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
without a doubt, KOTOR 1 brought my entire faith of BioWare, like, it sealed it forever.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that you can see a lot of the stuff that they did with that in the first Mass Effect.
Yeah.
And
Son of
then
a-
EA
Like
took
Karth.
over.
EA has
son of a
been,
bitch.
EA's been not good for them, but they still make quality games. And this is
Despite
their
it,
first.
yeah.
Are they still with them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's probably never going to change either. They're
Well,
making
they,
their money now.
they refinanced it too because it was cool about
But
Bioware
they should
too.
just finance it, not like have any kind of creative like input.
Well, the one good thing about them being with EA is EA's got the Star Wars license.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
So
That's
we may
another
get a
thing,
KOTOR 3. when
or a
it's released.
revamped KOTOR,
Yeah.
like a digital
HD
remaster.
remake. Would be
I
awesome.
would buy that.
I would
second.
so buy that. It's not even.
I'd buy two.
I would buy an Xbox One and then just get that game for that game.
Yeah.
It'd be so good.
Oh, man. Come on, EA.
Come on, please.
An
yeah.
HD Bastila.
Oh!
With the HD scene.
Oh! The first unrated Star Wars game. We have it right there. We have it right there.
EA, you like money. You can have some.
So many words about this. But
You'd
it
have all the
is
money.
one of the crowning jewels, like Jackson said, one of the crowning jewels of BioWare, and everybody here recommends it, except for Johnny, because he's not here. So
But we're gonna make him play it.
we're going to make him
Yeah,
play
we're
it.
and then you can watch it.
We're gonna do a walkthrough.
Yeah, we're not
with
going
him.
to tell him anything. Nobody give it away. We're not going to tell him anything about the Revan part.
Oh,
We want to
nice.
record his face.
Yeah.
His facial expression when that happens.
Just have a still shot of his face.
Can I mention a character real fast?
Go ahead.
On I think there's a couple, but it's like this big dude on this little dude on this big dude. And he's,
Oh, yeah!
and you're like, what's your name? And he's like, you don't have the ears to hear my name.
Yeah.
It would take 5 years just so you could comprehend it.
Uh-huh.
I'm surprised that guy
It
didn't show
takes
up in
it takes
Mass
four
Effect.
it
I
takes 4 ears and 2 brains
Yeah.
to understand it from
My
2
name.
mouths.
And I was like,
Yeah.
fine, I'll leave.
Another thing that carried on to Mass Effect was that puzzle where you have to pit like.
Oh, the Lucas
yeah.
Towers?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those are pretty cool.
I've always liked that puzzle.
So that's our opinions on it. This has been Select Your Podcast. We are Select Your Player. This has been Thomas.
Jackson.
Joseph.
Jared.
And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Good night.
Good night.